Hey, we made it, everybody. Feeling a lot better this week. Still don't have my filter working. That's more of an OBS thing. Amir was giving me a little bit of hell about that for all those that know it. Thanks for tuning in. If you can, like, share, retweet. If you have any comments or questions throughout the show, just drop them in on whatever format that you're watching on, and we'll try to get to them. If you're new and you're watching this show, we kind of go over what's the heck is going in the markets, which I think is important in times like this. We kind of look at the total market cap of all of crypto. We look at other assets that are in response to crypto, and then we go over some of our personal picks. And we go through it every Sunday, 5 p.m. London time. And you can reach us on all of our individual Twitters and a couple of our YouTubes. So thanks again for all of you that do stop on by. We really do appreciate it. It motivates us to do this even more so. Amir, how the hell was your week, brother?
Hey guys, how you doing? Man? It's great to be back again, man. Yeah, man, I've had a good week, man. To be fair, I've been watching the markets, and I've seen. I don't know, man. In the crypto market, I'm seeing a lot of weakness at the moment, and USD is gaining some strength. And yeah, man, crypto is just pissing down right now, isn't it, kind of?
Oh my God! I mean, if I wasn't sick this last couple of weeks, I'd probably be in a lot better position with my spot bags than I am. But I'm holding those for the long term, anyways. And part of this game is riding out these dips and knowing when to dollar cost average and get into these dips, but we'll dig into that a little more. Once again, if you're just tuning in, this is the Goat3D Podcast. Normally, Mr. Remy Rye is with us, but his boy is at quite a major footy game today. So he's here in spirit, streaming to his ex. And if you do, like I said, have any questions, just let us know.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one. Are you ready there?
Yeah,
just the stage. Just dive right into this.
Let's do this, man. Let's do this.
All right.
Okay, is my screen on now?
Oh, you're on, brother.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to start the beginning of this podcast by looking at the US dollar index. And as we can see, the US dollar index is actually gaining some strength due to the recent economic release that happened, which was about the GDP of the last quarter of the 2024 for the US economy. And we had unemployment rate as well, which was very interesting. And, as I mentioned before in my previous videos that I do on a weekly basis on the sentimental analysis, we were on an uptrend in 2024, as you can see here. And we went through this retracement period where we went under the monthly close, and people were losing some interest in the US dollar for some reason. And that was due to uncertainty about the interest rates. People were thinking that the Fed might drop the rates, and we could see a weaker US dollar. But that didn't happen. We had the federal meeting on Wednesday of this week, and Jerome Powell decided to keep the interest rates the same, which is at 4.5%. And because of that, bullish momentum into the market back again, and we went above the 10 and 20 moving averages. Volume was above average. It closed out bullish, and volatility was also above average. And RSI has also crossed the 50% line, and we are in a high demand zone right now. So demand is coming back into the US dollar. And let's look at some of the articles that I've picked out from this week. So I have an article here that came out on Thursday when the GDP and the unemployment rate came out. It got released. And it mentions here that the GDP has been 2.3% in the fourth quarter, and economists were expecting an increase of 2.5%. So the economy is still growing for the United States, but it is slightly at a slower pace than predicted. And the good thing about this is that there's less risk of unsustainable high growth that could become out of control. But the negative thing that I see here is that this could signal weaker business expansion. And it also says that for the whole year, the GDP has accelerated to 2.8% compared to 2.9% in 2023, which has been an increase, but not as high as the previous year. So it's been a mild slowdown. But the economy is still growing steadily, but the momentum is slightly weaker than before. Consumer spending has also rose by 4.2%. So the growth held up largely on the backs of consumers who continue to spend briskly, despite the ongoing burden of high prices on everything from homes to cars to eggs. So the inflation is still high, but people are still spending a lot of money, and they're digging into their savings. As it says here, the data shows that consumers are dipping into their savings to fund these purchases. And as I mentioned, the Fed has been very patient on interest rates. So, they aren't in a rush right now to lower or further, increase the rate, which means that they want to see how the economy evolves. And this is good because it keeps the borrowing costs lower. But it could be a negative thing as well, because by waiting too long and not, changing the rates, it could make it harder to bring down inflation at a later stage over the next few months.
And so what I hear there is the government is tracking our bank wallets just like we track crypto wallets to know that people are dipping into their savings to do affordable everyday living.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're doing. They're literally collecting that data, and I don't know. It's a very, very weird thing, because that could actually be a negative thing as well. If people start using their savings more and to purchase, that could have a negative impact, especially when we go through a hardship again. So if the economy goes through a downturn again, people will not be able to have anything to lean back on, when it comes to that period. So it could be a dangerous thing as well. But at the moment, it's helping the US dollar. As you can see, we are rising above the monthly close, and I could see US dollar start trending again and going up. And if you look at other sectors of the market, so we got soybean. Soybean has also been on an uptrend as well, but it is showing some type of slowdown, and we could go potentially back into the monthly close again. Volume is starting to creep back up on the sell side. Volatility is above average, and the RSI is creeping towards that 50% line, and we could go into a low demand area. If you look at gold has been really, really on fire, man. It's been holding really strong. Yeah, like absolutely. we are above the EMAs. Look at this kind of, what do you think about this?
It's just going more to the outside. Like, we talk about this a lot for those that are new watching. When there is fear in the markets, gold pumps. It is, people talk about Bitcoin being digital gold. Well, there's no better asset when there is fear than gold, because everybody rotates their money into gold because it's the oldest asset that is proven. So anytime I see blood in crypto, I don't even have to look at the gold charts. I know gold is ripping. You and I are actually talking about that before the stream. And I'll dive into a little bit about gold when I get into some of the charts as well.
Yeah, man. Gold has been on fire, man, above the 10 and 20 moving average. Of course, it's been seen as a safe haven, right? Precious metals are safe havens in the market. Same as Swiss franc. When it comes to currencies, Swiss franc is also seen as a safe haven, because of the economic stability that they have. Investors always rush into these type of assets when, there's uncertainty in the market. So they don't know if the Fed's going to be raising interest rates or cutting interest rates. So gold is on fire. Volume has been very random. It's been up and down, but volatility has been very high, and we are in high demand on gold as well. And absolutely. Next, we're going to look at the oil right now. And oil has been on fire since the start of the year, but it is slowing down right now. The demand is very low in the oil right now. Volatility is random, high and low. Here it comes and goes. The volume has been low, so there's not a lot of interest right now in oil. But it is the sell side volume coming up.
That there, you can see that you're about to get a micro bear and it's going to dip down. And if you actually time oil to where the price crashed, that was actually Trump's announcement that oil is priced too high. And he's demanding the nations in the Middle East, I can't remember which exact ones, but he called out a few saying this needs to be lower. And it pretty much, the price of oil tanked immediately after that. So you will probably see a little support consolidation on oil where you have that line, John, right now. But I expect us to see further to the downside to that trend line that you have drawn there for sure.
Yeah, it looks like
Great
there's liquidity.
short.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of liquidity down here, which could get retested again, and look at the EMAs, man, like you mentioned. When you see the EMAs touching up like this, getting crossed on the daily, and price moving below it, it's just indicating that there's more bearish momentum in the market now. So we want to stay away from this type of assets until we get some clarity in the market on the US economy. S&P 500, we're in consolidation, so we're at the top of the consolidation right now, which is looking very, very kind of scary. But at the same time, it's a good indication that potentially we could get some downside soon. We got a strong sell volume here that are above average. We got strong volatility creeping into the US stocks. And we are about to hit the 50% line. We haven't hit the 50% line for a pretty long time. It's been since the start, the middle of last month, so 15th of Jan. So we're starting to go back into it. We could potentially go and cross it and get a big move to the downside, which could, because BTC mirrors what S&P does, we could see BTC doing the same exact movement as well. And BTC is showing low volume right now, and we could see BTC going down with S&P 500, and it is at 50% already. So, I don't know if you have any opinions on that, Cannon.
You want me to dive into a little bit of that?
Yeah, sure. Let's look at BTC.
Sure. All right. Let's before I dive into BTC, what I always like to do, as is look at the total market cap of what's going on in all of the markets. And right now, if we jump on the 3-day time frame, we can see what we talked about last week. Let me find my pens. Is we wanted to break out of this high on the market cap, retest it.
Screen, we can't see your screen.
Yeah, we can.
Can we?
Yeah, you're looking at the wrong screen. You're looking at our. We're good. Trust me. What we're looking at here is consolidation in this area right here. And what we wanted to do is retest above it till we broke out. But of course, we did not, with the news of the tariffs from Trump of 25, nothing on screen. What is that?
Yeah, I can't see it as well. When I clicked on the YouTube live, I can't see it either.
Can you see it now? It's showing on my end.
No, it's not. It's not showing.
Hey, that's really weird because it's showing on both of my monitors. Can't see the charts. Well, this is frustrating. I don't just see the background. No, not yet. Everybody's telling us they can't. Okay, well, I'll talk about it at the very least. How does that sound? That's really frustrating. I don't know why. No, we can't. Okay, I know you can see both of us now. How about now? Does that work?
It loads, but it doesn't come up. It gives you that buffering icon.
Okay. Well, what we're seeing right now in the total market cap on the 3-day of crypto is it's looking like we're in this consolidation range where it wants to break back down to the $3 trillion market cap. And that's probably my internet connection here in what's going on with it. And we have more pressure to the downside with the uncertainty. It was forming on a 4-hour, looking like it wanted to do a double bottom. And we've already broken that pattern at let's have a quick look while I can see it. The double bottom was at 3.26 trillion. And right now, currently, we're at 3.24. And the EMAs are pushing to the downside still, which means we have more downwards pressure to go, which isn't positive. There's a lot of liquidity sitting at that $3 trillion market cap. And that means blood in the streets for alts. It means blood in the streets for Bitcoin as well. I'm going to see if I can pull up Bitcoin here. Let's see if this one works this time. Just let me know if this works. Are you seeing it now?
No, it's not coming up.
Man, technology.
You want me to share my total one, and then we can maybe figure out yours?
Yeah. Pull up your Bitcoin. I'll add you to the stage, and I'll talk over it. There's our total. Actually, leave it on total market cap there for a second. So we can see right now that we're breaking towards the downside, and we have pressure to go back down to that $3 trillion market cap. And this week has been just bleeding for alts this past 2 weeks as well. And that's a result, literally, I believe, of this Trump 25% tariff. There's a lot of fear. And then when there's fear in the markets, everybody panics. It creates a waterfall effect, if you will. Everybody either hitting their stop losses or cashing out. And in times like this, I think, Bitcoin might get down to that. If we hop on Bitcoin now.
Yeah, I'm on it now.
Bitcoin could very much easily go back to retest that 92,000 range. It's not a popular opinion, but that's where the support is. And the sell pressure is going to determine, do we make it down there? And the panic, the sky has fallen, the chicken littles, the sheep that follow all of this. Now, this is short-term bearish. I am not saying the bull run is over by any means. I'm still long-term bullish. But we got some stuff to figure out here with what's going on in response to the whole Trump situation and the tariffs. But at the end of the day, he has followed up with everything he said. And there is going to be Bitcoin reserves. Institutions are buying like crazy. So is this just mass market manipulation? I think so. And this is an important part where we look at calming down for entries. Can you go on the 4 hour for me there, brother?
Yeah.
We'll make this work. So on the 4 hour here is where I was talking about a double bottom, right? We can kind of see it playing out where we had the bunch of red down. It started to peak up, and now we're back right down to that point. This is where we need to see consolidation and movement towards the upside in this area right now, or we're going to retest that 92,000 level. And at the 92,000 level, I'm just going to quickly check on my screen here. How much liquidity do we have sitting there?
There's a demand zone here as well.
There absolutely is. There's liquidity sitting there. And on the daily, we're coming up to a bearish cross. But if it can hold on the 4 hours at this double bottom, it'll play out here and work its way back up. It's too bad you can't see my screen from last week when we were talking about the bullish wedge where it made. It literally broke out right where we said it was going to break out. The thing about breakouts, we never know is it going to be to the upside or the downside. And it went right to the downside. And that's where those big first set of red candles were in the first part of the possible double bottom. If we hold this structure, double bottom, and we're back up. And we got to remember, today is Sunday. The volume on weekends suck. Monday's a new day. Typically, Tuesdays are green. So I would like to see a trend reversal here. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not one to be normally bearish, but I'm not holding my breath. Right now, I am short-term bearish. I would have some buy orders if you're trading Bitcoin around that 91.5, 92,000. You might catch a stinky wick. Or it might bounce here on the double bottom. So it'll be really quite interesting. Can you pull up the dominance?
Yeah, sure.
let's go on the 4 hour for me, bro. So the 4 hour dominance, we can just see it's cranking right now. And that's no surprise because alts are bleeding. And when alts bleed, dominance is cranking. And we have been in a channel on a 3-day now for ages. I can't obviously share it. I don't know why. It could be my VPN at the moment. And we've just been stuck in this long-term channel, and we haven't been able to break it. And we're retesting right here in the middle of that channel that Amir just quickly drawn. Man, you make me proud, brother. You make me proud.
I'm reading your mind.
So we're at a really key area right here that you can see we've retested multiple times on the dominance. And this is where we need to see a shift as opposed to a breakout through that middle dotted line that he has on the chart. If we go above this line, prepare your alts to bleed. They're going to absolutely bleed. Mm-hmm. And none of us want to see that, of course, especially if you're in alt positions. But again, I believe this is short term. And the one thing we can say with what's been going on in crypto this cycle compared to previous bull runs is the change has been really fast. It hasn't been real steady in any one direction for long periods of time. It's one of those things where it's been a chop market, and trying to trade chop markets is really difficult. And that's where I think having positions that you have conviction in, dollar cost averaging, stop losses in place is your best friend right now. Excuse me. So we really want to get out of that channel. To break the bottom of that channel is our alt season. If we don't get out of that bottom of the channel, we're not in an alt season.
Mm-hmm.
So the next few days are going to be interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of response to all the political news that's going on. And this shows you, this is a great example of how volatile the crypto market is to news events. When we may see a lot of pushback on the 25% tariffs. Mr. Goat, we were talking before the stream went live that, I have friends in imports and exports. I have friends that own car lots that are American in Canada, and have a 25% price increase overnight. Why would you go buy an American car if you were in Canada? Because you could buy a Japanese Toyota or a Mazda for 25% less. It doesn't make sense. So is this 25% tariff going to stick? I really don't know. This is where world politics really kind of comes into play. I mean, Canada's already slapped back with a 25% tariff right back. It'll be curious to see how other countries respond, how the U.S. responds to those other countries. I really don't know. Do I think it's the sky is falling, doom and gloom for the crypto market? No. And unfortunately, I have a ton of screens on my computer that I would love to share that have data to prove to the otherwise. This is market reaction, market manipulation, in essence of what I think is absolutely going on. So that's the dominance. That's Bitcoin. That's our total market cap. Mr. Goat, what do you have to share next?
Yeah, when I look at the total market cap, look at that. Look how fast it's dropping already. It's not even giving me a chance to do TA on this. It's literally going to my levels already. So if you look at the monthly close at 3.18 trillion, it's looking like we're going back towards it. And that's mostly due to the strength in the US dollar and all the other stuff that's happening as well, like DeepSeek about the AI that just recently China revealed. And that literally, took investors' confidence away from the US stocks, and money got drained out of that, and Bitcoin reacted to that news as well. So there's a lot of things happening in the market that are causing these reactions, and it looks like we were in this veg pattern, right, Kana? And we have tested the top of this veg pattern so many times. Look at that. All the buyers are getting absorbed in this area, as you can see from the volume. The buyers are getting absorbed. The sellers are more dominant, and they're not letting buyers get past this area. So they're literally winning that area at the moment, and they have won literally by pushing price that down like this. Look at the bearish momentum in this area. It's literally breaking this trend line over here of this veg, and it's going the opposite direction that many people expected. So now it's looking like we're going back to the area of sensitivity that price has previously tapped into multiple times in the past. It looks like we're going back to that area, the green area, and there is a lot of liquidity below that area as well that were created after we broke out of the all-time high at 2.9 trillion. So that area could get a little visit as well as we go towards this area to tap out all the stop losses that are active in this area, and that will create even more sell pressure to go lower. And we got some gaps in the 2.8 trillion area that could get tapped into as well in a flash, and buyers could quickly pick it up from that area and push it back into the consolidation again, so we can go for a little pullback and then continue the wave up. And if you look at the weekly time frame as well, there is a lot of there's a big chance that we will go up again towards potentially that 5 trillion to 6 trillion area for another leg. There is a lot of liquidity being built here on purpose to push price back up again. It's not out of coincidence that these areas, all these sellers, they have to get tapped out eventually, and it's just a correction in the market, and it is low volume as well because of this weekend, and there's not a lot of interest, but corrections are healthy for the market. You need corrections. You need to go below the consolidation sometimes to go higher again. So I see this as a very healthy price action, in my opinion.
And I think if it does go back down to those levels that you circled there at that $3 trillion market cap, it'll be quick. It'll be wicks. It'll be to take the liquidity. One thing we've had this bull run, unlike any other, is the amount of liquidations that we've had. It's just been absolutely insane. They've been record breaking, in fact, to go into those. So I don't think we'll be in that area long. If you're absolutely sky is falling, I just don't see we're there. I mean, on the 5 minutes on the dominance right now, it's already starting to pull back quite heavily. So I think it's in critical greed on the 5 minutes, same on the 15. But it'll be curious to see what happens over the next few days. I think we will have some easing coming in this week. I'm not 100% certain. Nobody has a crystal ball. But the one thing I can say, typically when the dips happen lately, they happen fast. And when the rebounds happen, they happen fast. Mm-hmm. Can you see my screen now?
Let me check. Yes, we can. Yes, we can see it.
All right. I turned the VPN off. Unfortunately, I can't use TradingView without a VPN, but I can use my other stuff without it. So looking at the bubbles for the week, it's been a gross week. There's an average of, I would say, 20 to 28, 30%. Virtual AI, minus 37.94. It has not been a good week for alts by any means, but we always try to give a few gems away here on the show. And Plan B, Bitcoin, is a YouTuber, doesn't have a lot of followers. But I believe this guy nails a lot of what's going on in the market. Somebody just commented 135
It's Ryan.
billion. Ryan Sappleton, liquidating currency market in the last 60 minutes. Just goes to talk about the manipulation that we were talking about. This is a really good video that he just did, was his Bitcoin prediction for February 2025. I've just paused it at this one point here where he has this graph of Bitcoin price, RSI, moving average, realized price, and stock to flow. And currently we are orange, yellow, orange. And when you go back in history and you see any of this pattern that takes place, Bitcoin pumps. So we're still on par to have Bitcoin take off. Like I said, I think a lot of this is manipulation. A lot of this is, the news events with what's going on. But even Trump has his reserves and everything that's going on. When we look at the decoupling of Bitcoin and the crypto total market cap that have been going on, that signals our alt season, we're on par for this. And this is another one that has very low followers. Crypto Decoder, somebody I'd be following, his analysis has been bang on. And his latest video is altcoin season is not canceled. Here are the reasons. And he digs into the fundamental data of it, and he does a really good job of that, in my opinion. Jelly on Twitter, if you're not following Jelly, Crypto Jelly, and Al, fabulous analysis. Our peaks of Bitcoin are when we get into this red area, and we're slowly still working into the MVRV zone to get up into there. So still very all bullish signals from a data standpoint, which goes back to what we were saying earlier, short-term bearish, long-term bullish. But I'm reminded of those tweets of people going, I don't have any, they open the empty wallet, I bought the dip so many times, they're catching the falling knives. It's tough to always determine on the short terms what's happening in this market because it is happening so fast. But long term, zoomed out, still very bullish would be my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I think there's still a little bit more to go in this market. It's not done yet. We're literally starting out, man. We just broke out of the all-time highs, man. You know what I mean? Like, we still got a lot more room to go. We're not, even if you look at the critical fearing greed, we're not even close to the greed, maximum greed yet. So, and that's whenever people talk about the market has topped, it usually means that there's still a lot of way to go. And when people get distracted from all the greed and from all the hype and they think the market's not done yet, that's when the bank institution drop the ball and just crash everything. And Bitcoin dominance is also moving towards the daily supply right now. So we're getting very close. So we could, and it has in this area, we have a broken structure as well to the downside aggressively. So it is a very strong area of sensitivity that we could revisit and we could get some reaction out of it. Well, we don't know what kind of reaction, but hopefully we get this type of reaction so we can get some pumps in our altcoins. And talking about altcoins, we're going to move on to Ethereum now, guys. Ethereum is literally moving down a channel as well. Like, it's like a downward channel. We have created, as when Ethereum reached the highs here, we didn't take any liquidity from this area. So we didn't tap anything out. We just retested this area. We went for a pullback, and it looks like we're in some type of bullish structure right now. It's like a cup and handle structure, right? Where prices created this big cup in the market, and now we're going for a handle, and we're going to be bouncing off this downward trend and going towards the 2,800 area. And there is some liquidity in this area. So if there is a flash crash that's pending to happen, we could go even below that area and then quickly come back up, to go back up again, And volume, it has been rising, but sellers have been more dominant in this area, as you can see from this sell volume. And, buyers are slowly creeping back into it again, but there is still low demand. So it's not really there yet for high demand to enter this asset yet. So it's just a waiting game. I think there's more downward pressure on Ethereum as the Bitcoin dominance pumps as well. So it all relates, it all correlates. What do you think, Hannah, about this, about Ethereum?
Yeah, I agree. Like, if Ethereum is still waiting for its big pump, I have bags of Ethereum, and traditionally, when Ethereum pumps, that's the start of the signal to alt season. We need the dominance to drop. We need the total market cap to either stay the same or continue to go up, and we need Ethereum to pump. Now, is that going to mirror the exact history of the past? Nobody really knows, but Ethereum's far from dead. There's so much built on Ethereum. The one thing I would say is Solana that's taken this cycle has taken a lot of the limelight because Solana is cheap. It's a cheap blockchain to interact. That's why we have Pump Fund. That's why we have all these meme coins launching on Solana over Ethereum, because the more congested Ethereum gets, as you know, the more expensive it is to pay for gas and to use the blockchain. But Ethereum is primed and ready to go. It's just a matter of time. When I look, I'm going to see if I can actually share this. You let me know. Oh, hold on.
Can I mention Solana as well? I drew some Fibonacci on
Yeah.
Solana. So from the area that it pumped from back in 19th of December 2022, I've drawn a Fibonacci all the way to the top that we recently had on the 13th. And I usually like to look at the 61 and the 78 area on the Fibonacci as areas of discounts to potentially get in again. And it's giving me $120 and $72 on the chart. So, and there is a trend line that price has been bouncing on top of as well on Solana. So we've been having bounces here. So we could go for a liquidity grab underneath, go for a pullback, and then 72 area. And then that could be an area where the flash crash could happen in the market. We could go as low as that potentially, and then come back up again to continue the trend, on the monthly trend.
A stinky wick could wick down there really quick and take off. I think it'll probably hold the trend. I think this is short-term bearish with the market reacting to all the news. I think we'll have more of a clear picture after Tuesday, Wednesday. Like I said, typically Tuesdays are the more bullish days of the week. So I'm really watching the markets to see what happens early this week and to see how it responds.
This week is full of events.
I mean, Ethereum right now, where's my 4 hour?
Are you sharing your screen?
No, I'm just looking here. Ethereum right now is looking like it wants to do a double bottom. I mean, a lot of the tokens are going to look similar because it's still a Bitcoin cycle, and a lot of the stuff is going to follow that. And I would like to see Ethereum hold here right around this $3,000 mark, because the 200 EMA is 2773.40. So it could bounce to that 200 EMA, which is 2700s. Could be a stinky wick down to it. If I was to have some orders placed on Ethereum, I would probably have them in that zone. You might get lucky and catch a wick. But I'd like to think it kind of stabilizes around this $3,000 mark, which with how the market is responding, I think is normal. It'll be really curious to see how the world wakes up in the next 2 days and responds to the markets. Do they see this as a quick flash crash and a great sale opportunity and the dips get eaten? Or is this going to be more doom and gloom for the next little while the world markets try to sort themselves out, for lack of better words? It looks like Ethereum already dipped down to that 2960 mark and has wicked back up already, which is showing strength to hold around that 3K. But it doesn't mean in the next few hours that it doesn't go back and retest that high 27 mark as well.
Yeah. We have had multiple retests as well on the 2800 level as well. Look at that. We have multiple retests. So is the area of interest where, aggressive buying or selling enters the market. It's those type of areas, support in those type of support and resistance areas.
And where you drew that parallel channel there, we have 3 touches. Typically, it's 3 touches. Majority of the time, it's 3 touches, retest, and gone. And if it's more than that, it goes to the 5 touches. So be really interesting. This next few days is going to be really interesting. Is all I can think of. I mean, I look at my spot bags, and you and I were talking prior to the show, and I was dropping multiple F-bombs, and I'm not going to lie, my spot bags are massively down, like the market. And it's gross to feel that when you look at the dollar value of how much they're down, it's a gross feeling, but I'm not going to panic sell. I'm not going to follow the sheeple. I have conviction in the tokens I'm in, and I have conviction that this is a short-term correction. And when I start to see some evidence of consolidation at these bottoms, this is where you want a dollar cost entry your conviction holdings. And that's exactly what I'll do, to make up this, this last week and a half of downwards pressure, is what I could say. Where are you at, bro? Where are you at?
When I drew Fibonacci on Ethereum as well, from the lows of 1500, when we had a breakout, structure to the upside, to the highs, which were the equal highs. We get some levels on the 78 and 61 at 2500 and 2000, and I see some equal lows around the 2200 area. So if there is going to be a big pullback in the market, we could potentially retest these sensitive areas as well. Even the demand zone, I see a demand zone around the 1700 area, that price initially broke out from. And sometimes price likes to get back into these areas again really quickly. And buyers have a lot of limit orders around these areas as well. So price could magnetize itself towards those areas. Those areas could be areas of interest that we could look at.
So if you're just tuning in, thanks for joining. Definitely give Mr. Goated, myself, Canna Crypto Pope, and Remy Rai a follow on Twitter. Remy Rai can't make it today because his boy is playing a little bit of footy, and he's literally touching the grass. It's always important to take family time. He does send his hellos and is streaming to his socials at the moment, so we can do this. Normally during the show, we go over all of our picks, and if there's anyone more bullish on unicorn fart dust, it's got to be Mr. Remy Rai. And following the market right now, UFD, as we can see here, is in a downwards trend. What time frame are you on there? You're on the 4 hour. It looks like it's wanting to hold this 0.08 area. I mean, 0.06 is its next level of support. So it's really important for UFD to hold the 0.06189 target area. It might be a good place to put a stink bid to catch a stinky wick. But on the daily, it looks like it's trying to consolidate in this 0.08 point area right now. It's already kind of wicked down into the 0.07306 region. And I mean, UFD had a hell of a week with Basement Ron having his wallet hacked, the community standing behind him and going. But this is one of those things where you can see, excuse me, you can see how these market tips affect certain coins heavier. You have anything you want to add to UFD? I mean, I have bags of it in my portfolio. I'll be looking to have stink bids in at that 0.0. What did I say there? Sorry, I'm just checking on my screen.
Or 7, you said, I think. You mentioned 7.
0.06746 is where I have my stink bids in to dollar cost average my entries. Long term, very bullish on this. I'm just going to share my screen. Can you see that now?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Cool. So it was a VPN issue. So this was a graphic that Coins Kid that we talked about last week shared about corporate meme coins versus organic meme coins. And then I wish there was another one that said versus shit meme coins. And the shit meme coins are the ones that pump and dump within, 15 minutes to an hour. The corporate meme coins valuation, immediate huge valuation versus organic gradual growth. Corporate meme coins get listed really quick. I'm not going to read all this out. I'm pretty sure you can all see it, what's going on. And here's the thing with organic meme coins is they're in the trenches. They have community, and you've heard me talk about this a bunch. And if you're in meme coins, community is everything. And if you've been following this show for the last couple of weeks, you'll know that I've been talking about Fart Boy. And I rolled a lot of my Fartfolio, Fartcoin, some of my UFD into Fart Boy. And if we look at this chart, when I say the dips get eaten, you can see these wicks, pre-CTO wallets that have sold off and it just got eaten. This dip here just got eaten since we've been on the stream. 8% in the last who knows how long, because I'm on a 2-hour time frame here. But just like I said last week, Fart Boy is outperforming my entire spot bags and portfolio. There's tons of news coming with it, with the sex listing. The community behind it is very strong. Like I said last time, it really gives me the Wall Street Bets, early day Wall Street Bets vibes of how people get behind it. And just how it withstood this last crash over this last week, it just shows you the strength of what a community organic meme coin is all about. And again, I believe this is going to rocket this season, and now would be a great time to be getting into some of this. Not financial advice, of fucking course. We talk about that all the time. But these are coins when you're looking for the bigger gainers. You want to look for the community. You want to look for that has driving force, and you want to get in somewhat early. And this, I believe, is a growing community. I mean, the majority of our comments on today's show happen to be Fart Boys. So I'm happy to know that a lot of my followers got in at a $350,000 market cap. And currently we're sitting at just shy of 30 million. We've pumped all the way to 50. No doubt we've had some profit taking and a little bit of pullback. That's all par for the course. But it's going to be an exciting bull run, an exciting time. And apparently I've heard February 5th is International Fart Day. You know how we have International Day of the Donut and all these kind of things? Well, who knew that February 5th? So I would love to see a massive pump on all my Fartfolio, UFD, Fartcoin, and Fartboy on the 5th. I think that would be pretty astronomical. And we talked a little bit about the story last week of how it was originally a rug. The CoinsKit crew did a CTO. It pumped up to 50 million. A few pre-CTO wallets woke up and found out that they had, $750,000 in their bags from, probably peanuts invested. They sold off. The dips got eaten. And then the original rug of this whole project was from an author named Adam of a Charles book series, New York Times bestseller. On this, well, I've been in talks with Adam, and him and I are actually going to be doing an interview tomorrow to find out the whole Fart Boy story from his perspective. He's given the token his blessing, which really is a huge thing for the lore and the story, because if you're a meme coin trader, you'll know that's what killed, for example, Chill Guy, the guy that invented that, did not support it, and the bottom fell out of it. So really excited to hear what he has to say. And it kind of actually follows the same lore of Unicorn Fart Dust, where the community rallied around the author. They bought out his books on Amazon. They sent him a bunch of UFD to a wallet, and then he had his wallet compromised and he lost it. So we'll get into those talks with him tomorrow. Unfortunately, it won't be a live stream due to the time zones and commitments, but it will be put together afterwards and be streamed out so you can learn more about the community, more about the story, the lore, and some projections of where this is going. So that's where we're at, in my opinion, for today's show, unless you had anything you wanted to add, my friend.
Yeah, man. With all these coins, we always give really good levels as well to get into these coins on our Telegram. So if you're interested to be in a community of like-minded people that are active in the crypto space, that have knowledge about the crypto space, you're more than welcome to always DM us on the CryptoVerse page, and we will send you a message back and get you to access our community. It's a great place to connect with people. It's a great place to learn, because when we were new, when we were beginners, there wasn't anything like this before. So it's actually a great place to elevate your knowledge and get together with some great people, man. Yeah,
absolutely, man. And there's been some great calls in there. I mean, you, me, Remy Rai, we've been trading together for years. And we've been fortunate that we've been in a lot of projects early, and the good ones with the good communities, the key is to just hold. When we were talking about corporate meme coins versus organic meme coins versus shit meme coins, the shit ones you want in and out. The corporate ones, long-term holds. The organic ones, when they're at this market cap, this is when you want to get in, set it and forget it. Come back in a couple months. I think about Pepe coin. When Pepe was running, and I found Pepe coin earlier, and I found out Pepe coin was far before Pepe, and it was only a matter of time, for people to realize that, for that pump. I did over 30,000% on Pepe coin from when I got in, but that didn't happen overnight. In fact, it happened over, I want to say, over a year and a bit. And I actually forgot about it until I was like, oh my God, that thing's pumping. I got bags of that in some odd wallet. Let's go look, and that's the key with these organic, community driven, is that just have the faith, watch it grow. And to me, the two biggest ones right now would be UFD and Fart Boy. And, sorry, UFD, Fart Boy's outperforming it, and I go where the data is and where the attention is. So, I've got bags of both. I'm not being biased here. But I think we're going to see a really interesting bull run with these community-driven meme coins.
Yeah, man. And usually those type of coins, they usually run on that last leg of the total market cap. That's when the dominance drops, and a lot of money goes into those type of altcoins. Like we saw last cycle, right? We saw SHIB running. We saw like a lot of coins similar to that running, like Kishu. So we're gonna see something similar to last cycle again towards the end, where the hype comes in, where the retail comes back into the market. We're gonna have potentially the NFT cycle again. All that money that these people are making are gonna go into something else again. It's gonna go back to NFT. Something new might pop up again. Who knows? But it's gonna be some exciting. This is where it gets exciting. This is where crypto gets exciting. So
it reminds me of this short here that I'll quickly share. It's only like 15 seconds.
When we're looking at the slow trade versus the in and outs that we talk about on the Discord, and you don't want to trade often, you don't have a lot of time, you don't have to worry about these retracements. Because if in a month you do 33%, 30, 20, 18, it doesn't matter on these little retracements.
Man, I missed my filter. I hope I'll have that fixed for next week. I got it fixed on the app, but OBS is being a little bit of a pain in the arse to get it going. But that's just it. If you're in this game for the long haul, don't panic on these retracements. Retracements are normal. They're part of the game. They're healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that wraps up the show. Like I said, like, follow, retweet, and we'll see you next Sunday along with Mr. Remy Rye, 5 p.m. London time. Amir, any last words?
Love you guys, man. I'll see you guys next week, all right? We're going to have some exciting, hopefully some exciting news for next week on crypto.
Oh, I'd love to see big green dildos, as they say.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, man.